just go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about your journey with dogs and how you ended up with the program you have now.
Hello, my name is Veronika. I'm owner of American Pit Bull Terrier and American Bully Kennel Dognik Bulls. We're located in Europe. So how all that start? It started in 2011 when I first saw pit bulls, like very, very, very cool breed. And I started to tell my husband that I wanted that breed to our family. But he was like, no, 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 that aggressive breed, we don't need them. Not normal people take pit bulls. So no, no pit bulls. We had desk phone for that time. And I was like, okay, okay. But I look many kennels, so many pitbull kennels, and I was like, no, I want a dog from that, and I was like, I want a dog from United States, not from. For that time, we lived in Russia, in Ukraine, yes, and we took our first pitbull, but it was suddenly. She was black. But she wasn't a very good pitbull. She hasn't so pressure, so drive, all that breed must have. And after some years, I talked about that we need to buy another pit bull, very, very quality pit bull. And I started to search in other kennels. And I found one kennel in Florida, not far from Jacksonville, the Real Deal Chocolates kennel. Now they don't work many years. I think the last breeding they had in 2019. We reserved a male from them and waited for him near 1 year before the puppies were born. And it was our situation how we took our first excellent pit bull, whom we like a lot. He was totally old family red nose bloodlines, and during all the times, I think it's still one of the most cool, most stable, most highly driven, with good brains, with a good muscular system, with a nervous system. One of the best bloodlines for me still over all these years in breeding, because we had many other dogs also, but that dog, he's still alive. He is one of the most perfect representative of the breed for myself and for our family. And mostly our breeding program was including this male. So we took him in 2016, and yeah, it was totally another level, not the same level as I saw in Ukraine pit bulls, because I was on dog shows, at sport competitions, anywhere, and there were no the same pit bulls as we bought in the United States. And I was like, yeah, we did the best choice, the right choice. We took the right one, the dog. After that, we still didn't plan any breeding, any kennel, nothing the same. But when he grows, that dog, I thought like we need to take no, to we need to have some puppies of him, because this dog is another level, not the same level that we has now in Ukraine or in Russia, something like that. That's countries not far one from another. So that was like. Of course, I traveled to Russia, I traveled to another countries, I saw another dogs, another American Pit Bull Terriers, but for myself, they wasn't so cool as the male that we took in Florida. So after that, we bought a female from Brazil. She was also old family red nose bloodlines, and we had really, really some good breedings with that male and female, and I'm very happy. For now, she rests, but she had the mostly breedings in our kennel, because I never bred any female so many times as I bred that Brazilian female. Yeah, but they gave really, really cool, stable puppies for us. It was our foundation. Very good dogs, very good nervous system, and they were so highly driven, because the most problem for myself, it was that our pit bulls, I mean Ukrainian pit bulls, they wasn't so highly driven. They can be for example, driving on photos or on some videos, but in real life, and you saw them, you was like, they don't want to do this. Yes, the owners work with them, works a lot with them to receive some results, but in my mind it was that I wanted dogs with whom you can work less but receive much more. For example, for now, owners of my Dognik bulls, American Pit Bull Terriers, they do training, yeah. And for example, they jump wall climbing for 4 meters and long jump for 6 meters. Yeah, that's a really good result, because when it will all start in Ukraine, in Russia, and all these countries, our countries, I mean, our part of Earth. I mean, not the same countries, but our part of Earth. For example, dogs jump only 3 meters at a long jump. For now, it's much higher. Yes, 6 meters, and they do not easy peasy, but easy. They can take it. Yeah, and that. And that's because of good breeding, good genetic, good joints, hips, and all that. Yeah, because what it was 15 years ago and what we has now, it's really different dogs, different type of breeding, and different breeding bloodlines at all. Yeah. So after that, when we had some dogs, we also try another bloodlines. For example, Balkan bloods, it's jumbo blood, it's working blood. So working, it means that in some generations they had worked as pit bull must work. Yeah, you understand what I mean. So it's illegal, so we can talk about that, but it's a part of pit bull history. So yeah, we cannot forget that. So we took jumbo line female, and she was very cool, but for myself, she wasn't such highly driven, no such pressure. Yeah, because what all that, what they breeding for example, for illegal purposes, yes. But in that illegal purposes, the dog must work in only one way, not like family dog, not like sport dog, not only one way to work for. So they breed for that also. So when you took that bloodlines to another bloodlines, it's like more soft dogs. They are softer, yeah. Because as my Kessel, for example, my male Kessel, he's very dog with pressure. He's an impudent dog. Yes, but that dog's working dogs, really with really working bloodlines. They are more soft with people, and soft with people. They also are soft in real life also, and that's why I was like 50-50. Good dogs, but not the same what I am looking for. But for example, we still have some dogs from that competitions, and I like them. But for example, in my mind, the main thing was sport. For sport, old family red noses were still the best. And then we tried another breedings with red alert bloodlines. He was born in 1993 in New York, and he was imported the same year to Russia. And we did some breedings with the line bred females of that bloodline, because it was really a famous bloodline in our part of Europe. It was good dogs, and we still use some of them in breedings. Yeah, but still we are sure that the main dog who gave us the kennel, who gave us so much attitude to continue all these, to do all this breeding, it was American dog. During all that, we also parallelly looked for another breed, and we decided to take American Bully. My mother bought her first bully in Illinois state. Then we took a female to him from Italy. Her breeder was the first ABKC representative in Europe. He was Dan Bostow. Now he rest in peace. But for that time, it was good female. And we was one of the founders who worked with American Bully breed in Ukraine. Yes, but for now, during the last 10 years, we did not so many breedings with American Bully because that's a more harder breed. That breed is soft, good for families, and we like it, but they are not so cool breeding. All their breeding, it's cesarean section and all that. So, I think they are good family members. But if you want to breed American Bullies, it's hard work, really hard work, and that's why we are with every year we has less and less breedings. And the last our American Bully breeding, I think it was 2 years ago, and we don't plan any litters. Maybe someone who took dogs from us will do that breedings, but we don't. We still are with pit bulls, but American Bully will like them, will live with them, and they are easy to live. And in Europe, when we has a lot of bans for many breeds, it's easier to live with American Bullies, but our heart is given to American Pit Bull Terriers breed. Yeah, so we had some near four generation of our own pit bulls, and then we in 2022 we go away from Ukraine and relocated to Latvia. It's Baltic part of Europe, and we stayed for 4 years in Latvia. And we started to search what blue lines we can to do collaborations, and we did some also old American bloodlines. So we are living in Europe, but still, I believe that the perfect ones was and is in the United States. Yes, because I'm not sure that I like totally all the dogs and all the bloodlines from Europe, but if you mix them with American bloodlines, it's much better. So we start to ride to Poland, to Czech Republic, to Estonia to do some breedings with another bloodlines. And then we did back breedings to our line breeding dogs, and we received something very good for us, for my own opinion. For example, not maybe, for example, people who took the second, the third dog from myself, they tell me like, Veronika, you like these type of dogs, but we like your jumbo line dogs, for example, much more. You don't like them as we, but we are happy that you bred them some years ago and we can have our pets. Yes, but it's like, so now we want to change country in the next months, and all our dogs will go with us, of course, and we will still continue our breeding program, because some years ago I thought maybe we need to stop because we went away from Ukraine, but now we are living normally here. In another country we will be also living normally, and maybe we will do a little bit more breedings. And I want to show pit bulls not only as sport dogs now, but also good family dogs. Not because there are many bans for pit bulls, but because they are really great breed, and they can work with people, with children, with anyone, and they are normal. They are totally normal, and there are a lot of terrible things who tells about pit bulls, about breed, and it's not a normal thing. And I think every people who like this breed must to give more information to people about that's not that in most cases that's not pit bulls aggressive. They are not they are responsible ownership of them, or human problem because poor breeding done or something like that. Yes. Without American bullies, they are on the on our sofas. They are living and rest with us, but we don't breed them anymore, and I'm not sure that we will start to breed them anymore because it's much harder to them. They are like really perfect family dogs, but not the dogs for breeding and not the dogs for people who wanna do breeding, because I can have 3 liters of pit bull puppies for easy peasy, but the 1 liter with American bull, it's like non-stop. Give them milk because mother cannot has milk, or all the cesarean sections in the night or something like that. No, that's not. I'm not the fan of that. I'm by my education, I'm a doctor, so I looked at that for some years, and I like, no, that's not for myself. I love this breed like a breed, but I don't want to breed them because it's really hard. Yeah, and I think people who breed them and who doing all this with breed, and I looked at all this advocacy shows, and I see how good, how big. Levers the dogs are now, and I'm happy that breed is develops, but not for myself. Yes, so that's like totally about how we start. Yes, for now we wanna move next month to the another part of Europe, and then we will start to do something also. I wanna back to some sport with my own dogs, not only breeding, not only like telling some seminars. Uh, I wanna more action in my life. Yes.
So, what was it about the American dogs compared to the European dogs? I know American Pit Bull Terriers, it's our breed, it comes from the United States. It came from, what Western European immigrants, Ireland, England, Scotland, and they came here and they bred the dogs and they perfected them. But from what I've seen, that there's been some really good breeders in Europe. But what was it for you that made the American dogs that much better?
Uh, okay, that's maybe because I live in Europe and I know every that's terrible stories or something like that. But you know that it's not the secret that some pit bulls can bite people, not normal with brains or something like that. In the yes, that's a real thing. Uh, Mostly I don't know, don't want to tell the lines, but there are lions and pit bulls who really can bite people, by their owners, by their children. It's not good for myself, and I never, never, never saw that in my American dogs. Um, I also bred with my male another American dogs who was imported from American kennels, and the dogs they were really perfect for myself. They had so good brains, so good temperament, so good structure, so good muscles. So I didn't saw anything the same generally, I mean, in European dogs. Also, I don't like that European dogs are males look like females. It's not normal for me. Male must be like male. If he looks like female, that's not normal. uh, that something went wrong for myself. Some people like because if male looks like female but have no heat, he can jump any year, any dog competitions and win, for example. Yes, but all this is because in Europe there are more who are interested in these dog sport, wall climbing, long jump, high jump, A-frame. Yeah, and it's popular here. And sometimes people tell me like, send us a dog who can jump, and I like, okay, it can jump, but the dog wouldn't look like I like at myself. I can do the breeding, but I don't like that breeding. I don't like that male to do that breeding, and I wouldn't do that. I understand that if with my dog pressure, attitude, and drive, they can jump. But for example, when they are mm, short, uh, Terrier type dogs can jump better than bulldog type American pit bulls. Yeah, but even if my bulldog types American pit bull terriers has more pressure, for myself it's more important. And for example, my friends tell me like, yeah, give that pressure, give that high drive, but tell us terrier type dogs, all terrier type. And I like, no, I cannot do that. It's not what I want. Yeah. And in Europe, many breeders work with that only terrier types dogs. I like also bulldog type American pit bull terriers. Yeah, with the another structure, another type of structure, but they are not the sometimes not everyone like that, but I like that. And if we look for the history of breed, everyone everyone who has all that terrier type dogs, they back to the bulldog types time to time because they need that. Yes. And also because I like brains of American dogs. They are more impudent, they are more cooler for myself. uh, yeah, I like them. Once I bought a dog from Russia. It was my it was my dream. I want a blue pit bull female, but it's like, yeah, we are standard, ADB standard, ban only the Merle dogs. So gray dog, blue dog, it can be, but there are no of them. So usually that's Mats or mixed breed with some Amstaffs or American Bully. So you cannot find for easy peasy that gray dog. And I started search. I searched through all over the Europe, and I found in Russia one dog, but it wasn't female; it was male. And the breeder told me like, take that male and start to work with it. It was that male has really good bloodlines, working bloodlines, good terrier type. It's not the best for me terrier type, but yeah. And I thought about that. Yeah, I can try. But when I opened a pedigree, it was like very fast dogs, fast and some nervous dogs. I knew that we are that pedigree, and I bought the dog. He was 11 months. He was lived with one of my friend near a month before he arrived to myself, and he started to tell me like the dog bite him and bite all around other people. And I told like, no, it's impossible that breeder don't send me this dog if it was the real. But yeah, when he came, he was very strange eyes, and he started to look at myself, and then he started to bite really. And that dog has really cool working European bloodlines. And for myself, it was like, okay, these working bloodlines, these European dogs, not for myself. I like normal brains from American dogs. Yes, it's not like every dog. It was my mistake. Why I searched that blue dog? Really, but yeah, I want that. And sometimes people write me like, we want to buy only blue dog, do you have blue dogs? I'm like, no blue dogs, because I bought the good one from very good genealogy tree, but he was man attacker, the dog. Yeah, we lived with him 1 year. It was very hard year. And I looked for at him at all my another dogs, and I thought like, yeah, my breeding program is still good for that, and I don't wanna all that not stable lines, not stable European lines. But there are many people in Europe who like all that lines, who can bite people, and they live with them and they look at that normal. But because the breed is very active, everyone can find what he wanna or she wanna. Yeah. So, some can live with the dogs. I cannot live with the dogs because it's too much hard for me, for myself, and I'm not sure that the breed must be in that way. And I cannot breed dogs whom I don't like, because breeding dogs, it's not easy peasy at all, you understand. And to do that only for to do, no, it's not. That's not the normal life for myself, and it's very hard to breed dogs, to give them all your attention. You cannot go on a vacation because you have dogs. You cannot do anything. You are living with this kennel. That's like normal living of every breeder. That's normal thing. But if you love this, that's okay. But if you don't like that, yeah. So that's why I never say no to anyone who wanna breed with my males, with American females from United States, who import to European kennels. I mean, yeah, because the dogs are very good, and a good muscular system and good brains, and they are living so good with every people. They can, for example, they send me female, and she can live with me, with my children, normally living. Yeah, because in the part of European females, you cannot do that. They will they, they will destroy everything, and then that's not against some European bloodlines, but for myself, because I worked with many bloodlines, I like more American bloodlines. Yeah, but it's for myself. Maybe some Americans still like no, only European pit bulls are the best, but for myself, no, because I worked a lot with many different bloodlines. But someone like terrier types and many too much choleric who can bite, okay, no problem, but that's not my idea, not what I'm doing. That's why, yeah.
So on your yard and what you're trying to produce, can you paint us a picture of the dog? Like, what is a proper size of American Pit Bull Terrier and temperament? So your the height, the weight, and then the temperament and the overall look of the dog that you're trying to strive for on your yard.
Yeah. If we look like standard ADB, American Dog Breeders Association, they tell us like pitbull can be between 13 kilograms and 32 kilograms. I don't know sure how it's in pounds. Yeah, but until 32 kilograms. 32 kilograms, it's a big dog, really big dog. Usually my males are near 20 kilograms until 27 kilograms. I think it's twice and twice point 5 more. Maybe it's like 40 pounds till 60, maybe 65. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah. Um, about the tall, my dogs are not so big. I have females who are 39 centimeters, for example, and males who are 52 centimeters, for example. So different size because different bloodlines. For some outcrosses, we have really big dogs, but when we back them, do breeding back to our line breeding, they are much smaller. We receive much smaller puppies. In Pitbull overall, we are, I don't know why it started, but usually uh, for now people ask small dogs, small like 15 kilograms, maybe 19 maximum kilograms. I don't know why it started, because I'm not sure why it started. In dog fighting, I understand why did that, but for now in real life, I don't understand why they want a female with 15 kilograms. But I has one is alive, she's 15 kilograms, and one is already on the hearing. She was also 15 kilograms. Really good dogs. But for example, I also has males who are 25 kilograms, and they are perfect for myself. Like it's male. You see, you look at him and you understand that he's a male. You never think that it's a female if you see this dog far away from you. Yeah, no, never. That's like for myself. Also, they must be something between terrier and bulldog type. Personally, I like bulldog type, but I understand that no one like this, because also all this bulldog type, they looks perfect. Yes, but it's shorter nose, so they can snorking, for example, yeah, and all that. So when you do it with sport, you cannot have full bulldog type dogs if you're doing sport and something like that. So we try to have this mediana, between this breeding, but for myself, I like more bulldog type dogs who looks more like bulldog type. Yeah, and sometimes when I judge pit bulls and dog shows, I also look more for bulldog type dogs. But like when you look at breed, when we are talking about American Pit Bull Terrier breed, yes, in our imagination it's terrier type dog, yes, but with history, during all the history, there were a lot of bulldog type American Pit Bull Terriers, and all of them were famous, and all of them were very cool, very good workers, and yeah, like it's a part of respect for that dogs or something like that. But I like that dogs, people like that dogs, but yeah, sometimes it's the breed is so much many types, has so many types, so it's not like the breed, for example, mm, I even don't know the breed who has like Dalmatian, yeah, Dalmatian has like you look for Dalmatian and you see Dalmatian, but when you look for pit bull, sometimes the pit bull can looks like American bully, but it's still pit bull by pedigree. Sometimes like greyhound, but it's still pit bull. Yeah, and all this is different pit bull ties. That's why the breed is for many people, because someone like more massive dogs, someone like small and fast dogs, and all they are pit bulls. But the main thing that they must be for myself and in my breeding, no matter even how they will look like, but the main thing will be that they will be highly driven. So that puppies who are doing tag of war and all that from the beginning, that's good breeding for myself. Yes. No matter for me how long will be the nose or how small short will be the nose. Okay, longer is better by breed standard, but for myself not so important. Much important for myself, it's their like working breed. It's still working breed, not for dog fighting, but it's working, living with active people, living in the cities, living in the farms, living anywhere. So they must be the dogs who can be active and who can do an activity for many time, like 1 hour, 2 hour, not like 15 minutes run with puller, run with ball, and then lay on sofa. Not something like that. Yes, not like American bully breed. But all my American bullies, they are living with pit bulls, and they are also active dogs. Yes. I hope you understand my English.
So, what activities do you participate with your dogs, and um, what drives your breeding style towards those activities?
Yeah. For now, in all the world, the activities is like very good sports, A-frame, yeah, you understand A-frame, long jump, jumping on long distance here. I remember the times where when the dogs jumped 6 meters and it was like something extraordinary, but the level of the dogs, the level of the training is developing, and now many dogs jump that 6 meters, and wall clipping, yeah, um, weight pulling also. We have some activities here in Latvia, but it's not big country, only 1.5 million people, so not so many activity. Yeah, and mostly it's a cold country, and like in jackets in the summer, it's not you cannot do so more competitions like in warmer countries. Yeah, so. Also in our country, for example, in Ukraine, they did some dog puller competitions. I'm not sure. Do you know? It's like violet, violet, something like violet balls, but it's not balls. Um, and they do sport. And sport is called dog pulling jump, dog pulling ramp, dog pulling spring pole. And it's also was a part of our activity when we lived in Ukraine. Now, no, in Latvia they don't do any competitions. I think they still do them in Czech Republic, in Poland. Yeah, so the main thing for American Pit Bull Terriers now, it's weight pulling, long jump, high jump, wall climbing, and all that. Yes, and it was each year the level of every sportsman is growing. Really, I see many another kennels who are doing this activity, and I see how their dogs developing, and yeah, that's really cool. That's in Europe, not sure how it's in the United States, but in Europe they are really high level dogs. But of course, mostly all the winners are terrier type dogs, and sometimes for example, one of my friends, she took a dog from me, from my kennel, and I told her like, take this dog. This dog is when they were puppies. This dog is very with pressure, highly driven dog, very good dog for all that activities. And she was like, no, give me the calmer, but she's more terrier type. And I like, okay, but you will need to work more with this dog. Even no matter that she's terrier type, you will need work with her more. And she was like, okay, but terrier type, it was much easier to jump. And yes, for example, between my dogs, who is some terrier type, some bulldog type, yeah, in long jump, my female can much easier jump, the same as my bulldog type male need to more work to do the same activity. Yeah, so that's like all that very different breed, this American Pit Bull Terriers, and anyone can find the dog he or she likes, really. An exterior and the attitude and the more muscled, less muscled. Yeah, very good breed and very different.
Who are some of your uh, mentors in the American Pit Bull Terrier? Who have you looked up to as far as breeding American Pit Bulls?
Like, um, I even cannot say you. I don't cannot answer this question because I like some owners of kennels who are working now. I like some who worked in past and what they did to a breed, but they are not like only one kennel or only one man, only one person who I can say that exactly the same way I wanna know, because like I even don't know why I like. I like some bloodlines, for example, and some people who work with that bloodlines, and I look at their work, how they mix these bloodlines and what they receive. But of course, even when you are looks, you need to do the same by yourself, because when you look, it's the one, but when you receive it in your own home, it's all another. Yeah, but for example, there are some. Um, in United States, it was Good Kennel Real Deal Chocolates in Florida, and it was the Good Kennel Gods of Cosmos kennels. Here also don't work now. They stop breeding, but I like their dogs. I like both of these kennels. I like their bloodlines, how they work. I like how they raise them. Yes, in Europe, they are not the. There are a lot of kennels, yes, and that's very good thing, because you can see really different bloodlines, different work on the dog shores or somewhere else. But I'm look to everyone. Sometimes I give myself some time and I go to look some kennels websites to see what stats they has now, what they produce now, what work they do now, what bloodlines they buy now, and something like that, because it's interesting for me as a breeder and as a pit bull lover. Yeah, but not like mentor for now. No, well, when we start, and I like Real Deal Chocolate Kennel in Jacksonville, yeah, a lot of their work, a lot of their dogs, and how they show them, and how they do participate in every RDBA, UKC, dog shows, sport shows, all that wet pulling, how they did champions, grand champions. Yeah, it was like wow for myself. Yes, and we lived in Ukraine. We haven't ADBA or UKC dog shows or something for that time, and it was like something extraordinary to myself. Now it's not like, but for that they were for myself they were number one in United States, and still there are not so many kennels who I can say that they are the same so cool for myself because for example also we has American Pit Bull Terriers who doing registry in ADBA or some in UKC, and UKC they're like more stuffs for myself, not even for pedigree, I mean for like, how they looks like. And it never doesn't mean for dual registry is also normal thing. Part of my dogs are also dual registry UKC and ADBA, but ADBA type is a little bit more for myself. So usually I look more for the kennels who are breed ADBA type. But but also sometimes ADBA for dog shows, it means the dog like very very terrier type, very very tall, very small, and that's not what I like now. But for myself ADB is I mean ADB type dogs, not ADB at all, but between these two organizations, yeah. So I look at the kennels, at the breeders who are working as ADB dogs, but when I judge shows I see a lot of good with good structure. You can see pit bulls, and they are really good. So, but about mentor, no, not like. But the breed is so big, so you can take there, anywhere. Yeah, because it's not small breeds, and many people all around the world like this breed and work with this breed. So there are no when it's a small part of dogs and you have nothing to work with. No, that's not the same. So you can work, you can try, and see what do you like these breedings, these bloodlines, or don't know, or don't like. But for myself, yeah, it's still American breeders are at the top than European breeders. It's no matter that I'm living in Europe. But I think yeah. So maybe, for example, people from United States write to me and like, "You're in Europe. We hear that in Europe there are so cool pit bulls." And I like, maybe yes, maybe for yourself. For myself, American dogs are better. For yourself, European dogs, okay. Everyone has own opinion. Yeah, so that's not a problem. You can choose whatever you want. Yeah.
I think the Americans have it in their heads that in certain parts of Europe uh, that the original purpose is still being done, whether it's
Mhm.
illegal or
Yeah.
not. I think, it's not as regulated, right? Because just of the circumstances of their countries or wherever. I won't point out any countries or anything like that, but I think so. A lot of Americans who think they like game dogs look at Europeans and they say, well, they're still doing it over there. So I'd rather get a dog that's still from a bloodline that's still doing it instead of America. But I agree with you that there's a bigger picture here, and just because a dog in a kennel is still participating in activities that are no longer av- able to do in most parts of the world doesn't mean that they've got good dogs. I think it's just kind of like the internet line of thinking that comes from the dog world these days. That's kind of frustrating for a researcher and a podcaster like me who tries to interview people like yourself who are conscientious breeders who have a mind of their own. And I really don't like that question when I ask, like, who are your mentors? Because I agree with what you said wholeheartedly. And that's why I still kind of ask it because, uh, there's so many people out there. And I think the best breeders, the people that have the best heads on their shoulders, are the people that understand that to be the best, you have to do the work and yourself. And I think in dogs, people have this thing where you have to have a mentor. You have to have somebody that you follow and that you take their knowledge and you build it onto your own. And no, I don't think that's the way it is. I don't. I think your best athletes in the world didn't learn from just one coach. And they also developed their own mind and their own ability to become the best athlete that they can be. So I agree with you that I think that question and people thinking that you have to have one mentor or you have to follow somebody blindly is kind of goofy. It's a goofy concept. And unfortunately, you do see that, especially in the American bully world, where people will follow like one or two kennels and that's all they do. And then all of a sudden, their dogs are dying at 6 years old, and they realize, hey, their mentor was, a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And I think that you have to have a mind of your own. So I liked your answer a lot because that's kind of why I still ask it because I want to see where people's heads are at, and you said exactly what I'm thinking about it. But yeah, and so I think also like what I was saying before about the American dogs versus European dogs. I think that's why social media is a great thing because it can bring you and I together from two parts of the world that we would never talk without it. You know what I mean? We would never know each other, but um, I think unfortunately it also breeds a lot of misconceptions and poor thinking without doing your own research. So, and like you went out there and you found the dogs that you liked and you tried them out and you found, okay, I can work with this, and you created your own style and your own line of thinking, and that's the way it should be. So, if I ask you a question, um, what are your goals in the next 5 years with your dogs, from top to bottom? Like what does that look like for you?
Okay. So because now we are moving with all kennel, we need to do all their European rules because they are sometimes are so crazy when you own a dogs and each country has more strict and strict rules. It's so the next year I think I'm not sure that we will have too many breedings because I think we will have so many people who will come to us and look that everything is okay because it's pit bulls and we moved to the country where it's like dangerous breed. That's like Rassa Pellegrossa Potenziale. So yeah, we need to receive many licension because in Latvia or in Ukraine you have no licension for owning pit bulls, or you can breed pit bulls, but in our next country there are much more paperworks, and you need to prove that you are normal for breeding, that your dogs are normal. So the last this year 2026 wouldn't be easy for us, but but we will change, but we will find our new place to live, and I'm happy. And the next years I think we will do also some out cross breedings to think which bloodlines we also can start to work, and then back to our line breeding because the main producers, females and males, I already has, but I need some out crosses because I cannot do line breeding, inbreeding every time. It's too much for myself and for people and for dogs. So I think I will look for some also American bloodlines. I like our dogs with red alert bloodline, for example. Yes, but that dog lives many, many years ago. His bloodlines also has some water. All the dogs, so all not so much line bred or something like that. So I hope and find some another meals. The last breedings that we did in our kennel, outside our kennel, I mean, when we wrote to another males. We did also with American bloodlines males, not European bloodlines mares. Or one male was 50-50, 50 European bloodlines, 50 American bloodlines. And I like that. I like that combination because it's like only European. No, I don't. They even don't have so many muscles, so structure. Like they are another. You look at them and they are another dogs. Like you touch them and they are another dogs, and you see how they are raised, how they are moving, and they are really another dogs. And what you talked about, that people from United States right to European countries to buy dogs from dog fighting or something like that. Yes, yes. And that's the real thing, because, for example, Ukraine, Russia, they still has it. Yes, they has. And it's the problem that it's easy peasy. For example, you can buy that dog for 400, 600 euros, no problem. Of course, vaccinations will be like all that microchip, but yeah. Um, and in a pit bull breed, it's like much more respectful if you open the pedigree of the dog and you, for in 4 generations, you see some fighting dogs. Yes, in people minds it is like it must be, no matter if your dog not for dog fighting. Yes, only sport, only companion, only family member. But when you open pedigree, you need to find there are some champions or grand champions, and it's like yeah. And I think it's a big problem, because people don't understand that these dogs, they wasn't bred for family to be family members. They was bred for illegal activity, and they were raised for illegal activities. They has no socialization. I saw the dogs and myself. I lived in Ukraine. I traveled to Russia. So before war, yeah. So you understand, and when someone like with open eyes write me like, I need that dog like with a grand champion and someone, and I'm like, oh my god, you don't know what you want. You want only pedigree. You don't want real dog, because that real dog will be very soft. That real dog can be afraid of people, because when so what they do in that 4-4, yeah, they don't bite any people. They bite only each other. So they are soft dogs against people, but also with that they can in real life they can even don't do tag of bite. I know that dogs, I saw the dogs who are winners in all that illegal activity, or champions or grand champions. I saw them by myself, and if you show him a tag of bite, he can say you like, no, I don't want to do that. And if you show that to normal sport pit bull, he will do an wow or two. He will be do the tag of war or spring pole or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big problem. And sometimes people write to me and like, okay, I like you this breeding, I like you this puppies, but have you more with red and blue pedigree? Red and blue, the champions and grand champions. Yeah, we have the online pedigree. You has a American online pedigree for pit bulls, and we has in Czech Republic, also online pedigree where you can see ancestors, 4 generations, 10 generations, 12 generations. Yeah, how many that dog has, you can see all them. And yeah, sometimes people in Europe also, they like part of Europe. Europe, for example, Belgium, Netherlands, Spain, they are normal with that. They're like, okay, this dog I like, I want this dog. But for example, Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, they are like, no, we need some working dogs and the pedigrees. And yeah, but sometimes people don't understand that it's not the cool for life now. That dog's not the same dogs who you can live easy. With that dogs, you need to look to work more with socialization, with all that. And okay, for example, I bought dogs from that kennels. Yeah, I had the dogs by myself, and when that puppies or youngers came, they are like, they're afraid of their shadow. They're like, oh, and other people, how to do. But yeah, that's like nothing about normal socialization, because they breed for what? For fighting. Yes, and it's still easy in the part of the earth. So when people write me like, no, pit bulls must be with dog fighting pedigree, I like, no, not now, when you can have normal pedigrees dogs, normal stable temperament dogs who aren't afraid of their shadows, who aren't afraid about Where you are? Bean? Sin-
I'm right here. I gotta go grab. I'm listening. I just gotta grab my dog. She's barking. But hold.
ah,
Just go ahead.
okay.
Sorry.
So that's that's the problem, I think, because people they don't no, of course part of people who come to me for puppies, they understand when I talk to them about this, they understand what I mean, but the part of that people, they are really still think that, for example, they can live in Ireland or somewhere, and they like, no, only dog fighting, dogs and pedigree, it's a real pit bull, proved pit bull, and all that. And I like, how you can live a normal life and you're Neanderthalian or something like that? How it can be? Okay, you can. That's a much respect to that breeders, yes, who did that, in previous uh, centuries, yes, but it's not normal for 2026 or 2025 or but some people, and American people really ask that, and how to take, and also what they think that you can buy here these dogs, like all the litter you can buy, and it will cost you like 2000, for example, for all the litter for 5 puppies, for example, plus delivery. And they do that, I know that, but I'm against that. And we need to tell that to people, I think, because that's needed understood about the breed, because breed is developing. Of course, we cannot say it wasn't, or it's stupid things. No, it was, and it still is in some countries, but it's not what we need to do, or like for example, I saw 2 days ago IDBA did a post on Facebook like, please don't show when you're pit bulls show aggression or show teeth or something like that, because it's against our breed. And I understand them, because I understand people who are against this article at ADBA, but I also understand ADBA because there are, for example, in Europe, there are a lot of countries who ban pit bulls. And for example, here in Latvia, we haven't banned for American Pit Bull Terriers, and that was one of the point why we choose to move to Latvia when it all starts in 2022. But now we are moved to another country, but in that country, I need to receive license to each of my dog, and that's like an psychiatry to every family member who will work with dogs. Also, it's a rule in their country, and that's like all that people who tell like that's dangerous breeds, champions, grand champions of dogfighting, and they do that. They do all that shadow on the breed, because everything change, and I respect many breeding, many bloodlines, many breeders, but we're normal people, not Neanderthalians. We need to live in normal life, and in normal countries, our children must live normal. And also, I don't wanna, for example, to have some problems with my children because people will tell about them like they living with a gang of pit bulls, something can be bad or something like that. Yes, no, I don't want that, because my pit bulls are normal. And what that people who are like tell in the part of Europe, you can find fighting bloodlines dogs and buy them. Okay, if you can do that, but it's not cool. I think that's not for this era, not for this century. And but what they did totalizators, and they they make money on that. And I know that they make money on that, but that's their choice. But to have the dogs and tell that dogs are much better than dogs without working dogs in 4 generations, no, surely no. For myself, I saw many of that, but some readers wouldn't be against, wouldn't be agree with me, will be against about what I say, but it's my opinion, and I think we are normal people, and we need to live in normal world. Our world has so many problems, so pit bulls mustn't be the problem to everyone. Not sure. there are not so many pitbull kennels in Spain. For example, Italy has much more pitbull kennels with good bloodlines. Poland has many breeders, many like more than five, I mean, good breeders with good bloodlines who are doing many breedings, who works with breed, who works with dogs, who show that dogs. So no, Spain is not the number one in Europe with pit bulls, and they has the corrida, that they has the hunting with Spanish galgos, and that's the native breed Spanish galgos. They has not so many pit bulls, and not so many work with pit bulls. So no, but for example, with American Bully, Spain is very important now because advocacy office now located in Spain. When I receive, for example, documents for my American Bullies, I receive them from Spain office. Yes, in Spain there are advocacy dog shows and all that. They are working with American Bully breed a lot. But with American Pit Bull Terrier, no, not so many. I personally know 3 breeders from that, and they like have no breedings or did 4 or 5 years ago. I also, yeah, I remember one man who was also breeder in Spain, but I didn't hear about him. I think maybe for 8 years or something like that. Yeah, so no, Spain isn't. And they has so many rules to own pit bulls, to breed dogs, no matter what breed, pit bull or Pomeranian or Maltipoo or Dalmatian, no matter. They has many strange, strict rules. And before breeding, you need to do them all. And also, for example, before we'll receive license for all our dogs, we also even cannot walk with them outside of our yards, I think. Yeah. So yeah, now everything is changed in Europe. Everything is more strict in Europe, and that people who are like, we are about dog fighting, it's only a cool thing. Like, no, no, that's not cool for myself. You can work with that, and we work with that lines, yes, but for myself, for example, old family red nose bloodlines are the most important that any European working bloodlines that we can receive in Europe now. Yes, and that Oferian dogs, they are has fighting ancestors many, 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 many years ago. So many, and they still are cool dogs. So it's not about fighting; it's about the ability how a dog can work. Yes, and for example, my dogs, they run, they can crash, something like crash. And then they stand and run, 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 run. And for example, what I saw about that fighting dogs in real life, not in 4-on-4. I mean, they are very soft dogs, like, oh my paw, oh my ear, something like that. Yeah, because they work only in one thing, and they were bred for that, they were born for that, they were trained for that, and only that they are doing. They even cannot understand what it's children, what it's around, what it's trees, like, not the cool. Yeah. And of course, like a breeder, like a breeder, you can send any dog to anyone, and to someone in another country, send photo of the dog, and people will tell you what was with that dog in that country or something like that. And yeah, the many things with strange things with pit bulls, about pit bulls, are with dogs who has all that poor fighting bloodlines, who are from that dog fighters or something like that. Yeah, so I don't like that. I don't. No, I'm not sure that we need that in our life now, in this century. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that we're living in a time where um, we should kind of be going away from that, and but not dismissing it. It's part of our
Mm.
history, and it's part of the breed's culture, and people that are from the parts of the world where the dog was created. It's part of their background, their ancestral background and all that with the dogs. But I think that you're right. I think there just comes a time where we can move past it and utilize some of the great qualities that the American Pit Bull Terriers has, like their athleticism, their intelligence, their ability to be trained, and willingness to work for their owners, and the way they can bond. Because I've been around bulldogs all my life and American Pit Bull Terriers due to family and stuff and they've always been great dogs, but in the hands of the right owners. You know what I mean? So I think one of the things that is probably hard for a breeder of dogs like American Pit Bull Terriers is to find the proper owners that are going to do the breed the justice. I think what I see even in my breeds, like English bulldogs and French bulldogs and breeds like that, you know, uh, many people that own those breeds and American Pit Bulls don't shouldn't have them. They should have a golden doodle or a no dog at all. Maybe stick with a cat because it takes a little bit of effort and it takes a little bit of knowledge to own certain breeds for different reasons. Like French bulldogs and English bulldogs, yeah, they're hardy and they're tough little dogs and they're funny and they're cute and they're all that, but they do have a certain temperament that you got to be mindful of. And then you also have to be mindful of their physical traits. And you have to do extra things that a normal dog owner wouldn't have to do because of their natural deformities, you know what I mean? So too many people watch too many videos and they get into a dog for all the wrong reasons. And so I like what you're saying is that there was a time and place for things, but now we've moved past that and it's time to build on the good qualities and make them better for everybody, not just for one reason.
Yeah, and I think
So
yeah,
mm,
that pit bulls attract so many not physically stable people. So yeah, because they see all that dog fighting, dog biting, all that and all that, and they think they need the dog. I'm not sure how in America, but in Ukraine, for example, yeah, many people who are like without good work, without normal families, what they do, they buy pit bulls. For example, you can buy pit bull without pedigree for $100 or something like that in Ukraine. Yeah, even in with pedigree for 500, and that's like mostly our shelters are with pit bulls. And I saw also some Spanish shelters, mostly dogs looks like pit bulls, looks like American bullies. Yeah, and that's not stable people who cannot raise their dogs, cannot do that activities that dogs need. So I don't know why they take dogs. I understand. As a doctor, I understand why they take dogs, and that people write to me also. My email every day works like want a pit bull, dangerous pit bull. Like okay, why do you want to buy a toy and okay, and don't do nothing with the dog? And yeah, sometimes like when we start. My idea was to give dogs to the people who wanna do sport with the dogs, but the dogs was in different countries, and I see like that people the sport is only their thing in their minds, not about the health of dog, not about normal feeding, not about some vitamins, minerals, only sport, only jump, 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 jump. And when do that x-rays for the dogs, it was poor dogs. When they are like not health in 2 3 years, 4 years, in 5 years they say they goodbye, they do euthanasia for dogs and all that. And I like not my dogs, but I saw like it was, and I saw like when sport winners, I knew some for example in Ukraine and Russia who owns dogs with my bloodlines or something like that. And I know how they are raised with them, how they are trained with them, how they are work with them, and yeah, they show results. But for myself, you need to love your dog for your the first of all, and all that sport activity purposes, like we will buy or we will take a dog from you for sport. Okay, that's good, but what would you do when this dog will show you anything with what she can, and what would you do in 5 years after that? And that's like a really really sad story, because I know many breeders who also took dogs for sport, for pit bulls, and then they like, okay, say goodbye to these dogs. The same as hunters and Spanish galgos, for example. The same in many breeds, maybe, yes, but after some years my mind's changed, and now my dogs go to the normal families with children, without children, who doing activities, who going hiking, rides and all that, but who are active families, but nothing without we will won all golden medals on the sport competitions. No matter how it will cost for the dog health. Yeah, it's also changed my minds, and like some sometimes people, my friends do breeding with my dogs, and I give them my kennel name. And when they start to search families to that puppies, they are like, okay, why you don't wanna to sell the dog for that people? Okay, they will do sport. Like, look at their Facebook, a lot of sport, a lot of sport. Yeah, I like, okay, if you wanna, but I don't like that. And 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and they're like, oh yeah, now we understand. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I was like, sometimes people, even feeding dogs, it can be a really big lecture about how they do feeding. Like some people are really, people need to be educated, really really educated. And for example, in some countries in Europe, when you take for example Germany or Switzerland, Swiss, yeah, before you take pit bull you need to do online courses, or not only offline, it can be offline, 10 hours of courses that you understand about breed, about activity with breed and all that. You also pay much more insurance taxes if you take pit bull or American bully. Yeah. And even they even cannot take more than 2 dogs, because the insurance and taxes will be so high. So they even cannot in Switzerland to do that, because Switzerland, it's good country for Europe, yeah, you know. But even for people from Swiss, they write me like, we want your dogs, we take, but for example, for now we has 1 dog, so we can take only the second dog. Or for example, we need to wait when one of our dogs will pass in future, go to heaven, I mean, and then we will take, because taxes will be so high. And the problem is that in Ukraine or Russia or Belarus or all that, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, all that countries, I mean, in all that countries there are no rules, so they will give you any dog, they can do anything with dogs. And then for example in Latvia, all dogs has, I think it's the same like in the United States, all dogs has microchips registered, so you cannot write on the car, give away the dog somewhere in the area and write. In Ukraine or in Russia or in Belarus, you can. No registrations, no laws about that. So many pit bulls are on the highways. For example, there are stories that near a month ago, one pit bull was found on a highway. Like someone give away him from the car, and yeah, and no one can find who was owner, why was the reason. Yeah, but in Latvia, in small country with all that rules, you cannot do the same. But it's all in the brains of people when they see this in the news every day, when they understand how another people in their country do with dogs, they think that's normal to buy dog for 500, for example, and then in 5 years to do I to do something like euthanasia. I think, yeah, not pit bulls are so much breed who are uh, not so cool. That pit bulls are so not so bad how people tell about them, but they are like uh, ordinary people think that pit bull can do anything, and all that their Javs has a very strong bite and all that, but the same has Dachshund or another breeds, no matter. But there are so myth about this breed, so it attracts not physically stable people, and it's a problem, because I'm not sure For example, I had desk hound, and the in Facebook groups or in other groups, there wasn't so many crazy peoples like in pit bulls groups who are like all these chains, all this like a lot of chains, high many weight of chains on the neck and all that, yeah, and all that stupid activity. I think like this is poor breed. For now, it's really sometimes poor breed because we need to protect this breed from strange people. Yeah, but if we still talk about the bloodlines, of course, when you do breeding with good bloodlines, when you continue these bloodlines, that's cool. In another way, that means what you want to receive: more calm dogs, more active dogs, more stable, more choleric dogs. No matter, every breeder see their own breeding, and that's cool. This breed is very different. We are type, we are bloodlines, but there are so many myths about pit bulls. Yes, and pit bulls are like yes. Sometimes I think they are like poor children, like poor children. Yes, because everyone expects from them that they are like totally crazy active. So some people think that they are good guarders, house guarders, and I like how they has short hair. They cannot live outside, for example. Okay, in warm country can, but not in warm cannot. Also, they wasn't bred for a guardian like German Shepherds, like Dobermans, like Rottweilers. So how you can expect that this dog will be only because he has teeth and some myth about around this breed? You think that it will be good guardian? Yeah, but no. But sometimes, of course, with all that, usually to people who come to me and they ask something, I tell like this because there are some people who tell like, yeah, we read these dogs are not guardian dogs. I tell them, yes, that's not guardian dogs, that's sport dogs for now. They were fighting in previous ancestors, but now it's family dogs, companions and so on. But they are like, so no guardian dogs, so they can live with another people, walking anywhere and something like that. And I tell no, no, it doesn't mean that males doesn't show males temperament. No matter it's male dachshund, dalmatian or pit bull, males are males. They can protect if it will be needed, but it's not what they were raised for, what they were born for, and not sure that every can do. For example, when I lived in Ukraine, it was some situations where it was people with alcohol or something like that. And yeah, some my dogs don't answer even to people. But when they were with another dogs, yeah, they bite the dogs. So like they show their temperament. But of course, with that. For myself, what I saw, all these working bloodlines, working with work bulldogs, sometimes like American Pit Bull Terriers who was in fighting or with some ancestors in fighting. They are called bulldogs in Pit Bull world. It's like, so that dogs with that bloodlines, they are more guardian dogs. They can guard much better sometimes, but it's like not about they has more pressure, but I think sometimes it's about because they are more fear. They has more fear, and it's like that's like zoopsychology more, I think. But yeah, and it's like different from bloodlines, and I hope you understand what I talked, because I'm not sure even that I understand what I told you. But yeah, I mean that normal dog, normal pit bull, it's like if someone will tell you, hey, go here, pit bull will do nothing. But if some dog will go to him, he can bite the dog, yeah. But there are also another pit bulls with working bloodlines, yeah, who can do guardian, and some males can be guardians, yeah, but it's not for what this breed was, not our purpose and all that, yeah. I'm not sure if someone see this and tell like we don't need pit bulls, but I wanna tell people that people are so cool breed. So many activities you can do with these, and they are really normal with families, with children, and also for myself. On my kennel we has breedings where I can give dogs as a second dog or as a third dog. Even yes, I can. Or even when people has no experience with breed or with dogs at all, I can give as a first dog. Not from every breeding, not from every bloodlines, but for some, yes, of course I can. And this is like, if you want pit bull, you need to write and ask your breeder, because every breeder know his own lines and know where lines are more stable, most friendly to people, most friendly to dogs, because also the American Pit Bull Terrier breed is so big, so you can find the dog you wanna. And I hope that in this podcast, the main thing is, what if you want a pit bull? Write to different breeders, ask them, ask what bloodlines they has, what the bloodlines can do, what that bloodlines cannot do, really, because some bloodlines really dogs cannot protect, even males, so they don't protect at all. In really dangerous situations, they don't protect. But like in pit bull breeds, that's normal. But not every people search this. But in other bloodlines, of the same pit bulls, they can protect, for example, yes. But like you need to ask people, to talk with people. It's the main creature on this earth is people, and talk with people and you will receive all information that you has. And like that's perfect breed in American Pit Bull Terriers and American Bully also. I didn't talk about American Bully a lot because we don't breed them now, and I think they are so cool dogs, but hard to be living in all this. Uh, for example, I did X-rays to my old male, he's 10 years now, his pocket, and I did him X-rays some months ago, and he has so many dysplasia, so many spondylosis on his spine. And it's like, I think I look at him and I see that it's not easy to him, like walk now and everything, all that. And it's hard. Like when you buy Doberman, you understand that it can be hard problems, yes, in future, in adult age, in old age. So the same with American Bullies, their puffs, their hips, their spine, it can be also. So like for me as an owner, it's a problem to look how it's not easy for a dog, for example. Also, when the breed was in 1990, and it's young breed. I think for breed it's young, like almost 40 years. It's nothing for breed. And many dogs are so soft, so fear with anything like salutes or petards or something like that. Like in any another breed, there will be no problem to any dog. In bully, it can be a problem. They can be perfect inside the house with air conditioner. Yeah, for example, pockets or exotic American Bullies. But outside is too much for them. For example, all that hot states like Florida, like Texas, and all that. Yeah, and here in the Europe, the same. Like it's breed. Also not for everyone. And I don't want to be a person who doing this like. For myself, I love my American Bullies. If some people ask me where to buy bully or something like that, I tell them buy standard type American Bully or classic American Bullies. They are much more healthier than pockets. And XLs is, I never worked with XLs, so I only saw them on dog shows in some live, but I never own by myself XL American Bullies. So I cannot talk about them, but between pocket American Bully, classic, standard, I think classic, standard are much better to take, to live with and all that. Yes, part of my American Bullies are old now, and I see that classic are much easier to live, much easier to be old and all that. But like in all the noses, it's a very cool breed. I see no allergy problems, no nothing like that. Even with blue colors, even with lilac colors, all that dilute colors, but they are not allergic. Sometimes even my pit bulls can be hairs, and my American bullies, they are coat, everything. Yes, when you need to look at their puffs, ligaments, everything that you need to attention for all that growing. So sometimes it's like buy that dog for myself, yes. Breeding the dogs, no. I don't want to be the person who doing that. Like, I love them a lot, but it's very much work with every bully, with every puppy, much more socialization than with American Pit Bull Terriers. It's, you must have so many time to do that, so many attention to that, so many I love to do that. I love to be with puppies. I love to walk with puppies, but I think it's more honest to do that with more with American Pit Bull Terriers. But American Bully, it's not against. Don't buy, don't take to your home American Bully. No, take and buy. It's only my opinion, because I lived with, for now, I has 5 American Bullies. Yeah, and they are cool dogs, but in adult, yeah, it's much harder to them than to American Pit Bulls. It doesn't never mean that there somewhere you see puppy, you like him, take that puppy and give that puppy very good life, very long life, because that puppy for now is in this earth, so it must find a good family. It's no matter what Veronika Voitovska said about. It's like I need every must have a family, but when you take American Bully to your house, you need to understand that it cannot run so every time on, like, yeah, my bullies, they do that, but because they are from the beginning lives with pit bulls, and for now we're living in Latvia where it's not hot, no, so it's very, very cool for the dogs. But when we search some stats and all that, and you start to write people to ask about dogs, and you need to, like, that is snorking, that is cannot breathe after 5 minutes of walking, and sometimes I write to see males that are open for stats all over the Europe, yeah, and I saw them in real life, and they even cannot walk with us, with my female, for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, it was in winter. Once I was with one American Bully male, and I was shocked. Like 30 minutes with the snow, ice and snow, and he cannot. He lay. He was like all that. It was really. That was a sad story, and I know that dog was bred a lot. Has many children, grandchildren, but it's like every people doing something and breeding also for some reason, of course. But I see no reason to breed dogs that can have some problems or living not so cool life. Better their souls will born in pit bulls or in another breed, I think. Like, but that's only my opinion. But I like American Bully breed. Yeah, it's not like what I don't like. I like, but every people who are interested in it, that's no, really, they can. I remember when we took first American Bullies, it was like stories, yeah, that if you're a pocket bully still alive in 8 years old, you are lucky, you're a good owner. It was like stories who breeders told to each people, like 8 years for pocket, it's high level.